Howdy, howdy, howdy. Gonna move people around here. It's good to be back. We had a couple weeks off. Cheers. We had a couple weeks off. Holiday season, Christmas, New Year's. I hope you guys had a great Christmas and New Year's, or holiday, or whatever it is you celebrate at the end of the year. Yes? No?
No, maybe.
Oh, I thought you were just, generally speaking.
Yeah, we're talking.
Well,
there
was a question in there. I mean,
I hope that all of you in the chat had a great holiday and all that good stuff. All right, I actually need to open my box of samples. So,
look at this.
Here's proof there was no cheating.
Does that say fragile on it?
Literally,
you sent this.
I just opened it.
It says glass.
Really? I didn't put that on there.
That's really what?
No.
Somebody at the post office is your friend.
Is the tape all messed up? Like they opened it up?
No, the rest of the tape is the part you clearly taped closed is all fine.
Okay, that's weird, man. I don't know if I like that.
Somebody knows you at the post office.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. So I'm happy to be back. It was weird not doing the show for 2 weeks, but it was a much needed break. Spent some time with family and friends and all that good stuff. I hope you guys all did the same. While Doug is going through and opening the box, you should get yourself a knife, Doug.
I did. I am using. Is that okay to show on stream?
No,
it is now. We're on YouTube. Anything goes on YouTube.
Are we not also on Instagram?
No, Instagram still is not letting me do that.
So. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, do you want me to stream it to my Instagram? Because I've already got that hooked up.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, that's fine. Works out.
Okay. Yeah, that'll take a second to
Doug is like, I'm gonna win, so I need my followers to see it.
No. It's entertainment. I fully don't expect to win. I don't even have the list of possible samples this time, which may actually be a good thing.
I'm like, I saw it and I'm like, no, it's only gonna cloud my judgment. So I'm just gonna.
Some people think that, some people think the other way around. It is a personal choice, but everybody's got the option. So, but yeah. All right. So if you guys are new here, I don't know if anybody's new here, but if you are, I'm Jerm. This is the Blind Sample Showdown. Today, this week 2 of round 2, we have the Hood Sommelier going up against Doug from Single Malt Frontier, or Demi Taste, as you may know him. This is we're, like I said, we're in round 2, so we're starting to get to the meat and potatoes of this competition.
Who's the meat and who's the potato?
Well, on a very easy, quick visual, I'm gonna go with Doug's the potato, Jack's the meat.
That tracks.
Just throwing that out there. Nothing specific about that. Just that's how that went. But while you guys go ahead and get into pour the samples in your glasses, don't mix up which one's which. Make sure you keep that in track. They have 3 samples that I sent them. They're all the same samples for each other, 1, 2, and 3. They are going to go through and guess category, casking, and ABV or proof, generically, specifically, and for bonus points, they will guess if they know the distillery and the exact bottle. So 10 points per sample available, 30 points for the whole series of 3. And at the end of the reveal, whoever's got the most points is going to move on to round 3.
Check out those bottle labels. Classing it up.
I am classing it up. Also,
they're pretty cool.
I just ordered heat shrink for the tops, so I can get rid of the electrical tape to seal them up. So I'm stepping, But while you guys are doing that, I'm going to run through a little bit of roll call. We got Whiskey Addict Mike as usual, 2:19 p.m. He's here ready to go very early. We got Whiskey Punker Dan in the house. Cheers and all of us beautiful degenerates. Appreciate you, Dan. Smoked by Ash Joe is here. Brian S is upset that he came in at 9:30 this morning, made sure he got the first comment, and it is not here. So he's calling collusion. We got the Bourbon with Friends podcast. I believe that's going to be Brian. We got Adrian Shine. Hi, Adrian. How you doing, dear? Thank you for tuning in. We got Caesar. Thanks for joining in, Caesar. We got the Whiskey Shaman in the house. Let's go, he said. Jason Coates here. 4 Leaf Whiskey. Stacy, hi. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. Drew, what's up, my buddy? Whiskey Franco's in the house. How you doing, buddy? Spicy Strawberries here. Good to see you, Spice. Patty's here. Awesome. And Doug is here too at Single Malt Frontier. Excellent. Glad you can join us, Doug.
Doug, are you tasting already?
I had just a little sip.
Yeah, you guys can go ahead and get into
Yeah,
something.
I'm calling already and out. What's happening?
What? Yeah.
We weren't given the signal to taste.
Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. You guys,
Wait, I thought
watched
we were.
you open them. I watched you open them. You're good. Get at it.
Sorry, I thought we were, in the interest of not wasting time, show's on, right? We're in sample number 1.
Mm-hmm.
You are. Speaking of which, I gotta do my things. There's the little sample 1 logo. And just because with the 2 weeks off, I spent a little bit of time and I made some new sample in between videos. So I got to play sample number 1 because I always skip number 1 and start with number 2, but we're going to do this one. You will not even believe how long it took me to make that 5-second video.
I believe you. There's a reason I don't do any editing.
Dude, not like the creative part of it, like figuring out what I wanted it to do, right? That was like, I knew that right off the bat. So no problems there. Then trying to figure out how to make it do that took me a little while. And I got that. And then once I made it do what I wanted it to do, then there was this weird black hole on the screen that I couldn't figure out how to get off. So that took me a while to do. And then just rendering it out. I mean, each one of those 5-second videos took 48 minutes to render.
What?
That particles with the explosion.
I can show you a way to do that way faster, quicker, and easier.
I'm all ears, buddy. We'll hook up after the show.
Yeah, like it will save you. It will save you 48 minutes that you don't have.
Well, the beauty of the rendering is I can hit it and then go do something else. But just the fact that 5-second video took 48 minutes to render was crazy. And for those of you wondering, I just finished a glass. I was drinking the Lost Lantern Boulder Spirits, finished in a cognac, Armagnac. Yeah,
great
finished
choice.
In an Armagnac. Excellent.
Great bottle.
Really excellent whiskey.
You want to know the craziest thing? I feel so inadequate because I've never had Lost Lantern.
Oh, Jack.
Maybe after today you will have.
I've
Well, you aren't wrong, Doug.
Amber and Malort.
I've never had Lost Lantern, and I'm hearing so great things about it. But I almost want to invite them to also come on my show. But I don't know what we will drink because they have so many crazy selection now. I've looked up. I'm like, how are they creating this thing?
And I can't speak for other people. However, reach out to Adam and Nora. And if that's something that you want to do, my guess is you guys can go back and forth a little bit and figure out a good time to do it, and which would probably coincide with like a short period of time before their next release. And then you could go through the upcoming release. again, I can't speak for people, but they're really good about doing stuff with people online. So
yeah, I had them on my show in April or something for like just going over all the American single malts in the portfolio. Then Jerm had them on in, I don't know, August or something,
something like that,
the
yeah.
summer release. And I had them back to talk about the 10-year collection, mainly because it had the 10-year Westland in it, almost 10-year, one day short of 10-year Westland, to do like an update. And I think saying like, hey, I want to highlight your newest release was a really good move, because that's what they want to do, right? You align with what they want. They're always a great conversation. I've listened to, on their website, on the Lost Lantern website, they have a list of podcast appearances they've been on. I wish every brand did that, because I love listening to podcasts of brands that I love.
Correct.
And I get to go to their website to listen to all the conversations they've ever had.
That's cool. I actually haven't dove that deep into their website to find that, but that is very cool. I like that.
Yep, Bourbon with Friends had them on.
Yeah, they sure did. Whiskey Shamans had them on.
If I'm not mistaken, the Whiskey Ring had them on.
I need to check and see if, let me see. I know we had Lost Lantern Nora is the person that originally I talked to.
Okay. Yep.
I'll cut it up on emails. I told her we'll talk right after.
I have to love the confidence of Jack here that he's going to win this, that he's checking his emails during the Showdown.
Oh, no.
I was doing something similar like 5 minutes ago. So
I mean, seriously.
we're clearly taking this seriously today.
That's good. It's exactly what this should be. It's just
apologize.
fun.
What do you
No, don't apologize. Jesus, don't apologize.
What I'm gonna do is I needed to look it up so I can write them and go, hey, let me wanted to catch up back on this conversation. Would like to have you on.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Jack. I would love to see him on your stuff. They're great people. They're very knowledgeable. They love their product. They love what they do, and rightfully so. I mean, it's fantastic stuff. There hasn't been a bottle of Lost Lantern that has been anything less than, fantastic. Nothing ever is disappointing me from them.
You only have 26,000 of them.
Well, I have a few. Yeah, I don't know about 26,000. Maybe 2598.
Doug, are you ready?
I want to give some tasting notes just for the benefit of the chat.
Oh,
so
you guys drinking whiskey already?
Are we? Well, I apparently was tasting too early. I don't know.
You know what? I don't want to call for collision, but I will let
You know, I opened up that box and I put the fragile sticker on and sealed it all back up, you know.
I mean, he literally never put the fragile sticker on it. You made that thing up, Doug.
I don't just have fragile stickers laying around, believe it or not.
Thank you, Spice.
Oh yeah, by the way, I need to give you my updated like channel logo.
Well, this is your logo.
Yeah, that's
because it's like you, and if you, I mean, obviously,
that's why I
if you
didn't
want
say
to change to do Single Malt Frontier, I will absolutely do that. I mean, that's
they're both me.
Yeah, right.
Just at some point, I went all Single Malt Frontier in terms of my streaming on YouTube and so on.
Okay, and this is more of a personal.
Yeah, but also like I just don't really use that logo for anything anymore. Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I was thinking maybe I could put like legacy merch in, like people who've been following the show since 1.5 years ago, before it was even a podcast. You're like, you can have a demi-taste Glencairn with the Task-Cairn. That's what I call that design. It's a demi-task Glencairn.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody can actually see that. So anyway, so tasting notes. I stuck my nose in and immediately I was like, beer. Like hops.
Mm-hmm.
And like I immediately have a few in mind that I think it could be, but it's not quite a fit. But I'm also trying to convince myself that it is not sneakily some bourbon I've never tried.
Is that your tasting notes?
That's my, yeah, I mean, yeah, beer. That's a tasting note. I'm giving you a chance to say.
For me, it's like walking early morning into a barn, smell of hay, some spice, cinnamon, and clove, mainly clove and hay. So it's really green, and and like I said, walking into a clovey, heavy clove barn that has hay is a little wet. They have that little bit of humidity and dampness from old wood. That would be my tasting note.
All right, so
That's excellent.
I said a tasting note that was more like what I think it is, and Jack did tasting notes. There's a reason I don't write reviews that much anymore, or rather, I'm out of practice.
I mean,
clearly.
that was beautiful, Jack.
That was great tasting notes. I'm embarrassed at, I call myself a reviewer, and that's what I came up with.
You know what? You guys are the expert. I'm just an amateur.
Yeah, you guys are the expert, he says.
So you know what I told people about this? I said I'm going up against an actual professional taster.
Oh my God! Relax. I am literally a regular schmegular poor kid from Africa trying to make my way through this.
That's what all the professionals say. I'm just a regular Joe.
All right, dog, take me out of my
something
misery.
like Golden Graham cereal on the nose that I'm getting.
I like that note, Doug.
This is one of those whiskeys I love the nose.
If you like, what I tell people is, if you like the top foam of a root beer and Christmas cake, this is it.
Nice.
There's a certain taste, like if you open a root beer and it foams too much, if you slurp the top, there is that specific taste that you get, almost that nitrous and those malty notes that come through that you just slurp up. That's what I get when I don't know. I may be the only weird kid that like to.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I love that. I've never associated that with anything in whiskey, but I bet you, just now hearing you say that, if I go back and go through a few, I bet you that is something that is possible to find, because I do like that note. For those,
all right, I got to start writing some stuff down
in the chat. Yes, write your stuff down. For those of you in the chat, if you are not following Demi Taste or Single Malt Frontier, please do so on Instagram. Also, Single Malt Frontier on YouTube. And if you want a little bit more personal experience, find them at the Whiskey Lodge Discord. Hood Sommelier, I believe, are you on YouTube also, or just Instagram?
The Hood Sommelier on YouTube as well. Okay,
so YouTube and Instagram, Hood Sommelier. Definitely give both of these guys a follow. Subscribe, like, thumbs, notifications. Sorry, Patty. Sorry, I apologize. Nobody tells the neighbor queen what to do. Dan, yes, sassafras for sure. I have gotten that tasting note before, but more so specifically the actual liquid, not the foaming portion of it, which is I think, I mean, similar but very different at the same time. Oh, and if I would have had this last year, this would have made very, very high marks on my whiskey of the year for 24.
What is
this? This is the Andalusia Striker Super Smoke for 2024. Holy buckets, man! This thing is good.
Did you do a top list? I
No,
sort
I
of
don't do it.
unexpectedly had to like, we did like our December 23rd thing, and then it was like, oh crap, we're right in the middle of the holidays, and then a bunch of stuff came up, and I was like, well, I guess we're not doing content for a little bit. Feels like a missed opportunity because I'm the American single malt guy, so says I, but so is Jerm. And you know, the regulation having just come out, and like I feel like I should have just had so much content coming out, but it's just
So for me, like lists are cool in a certain aspect, right? But more so for me, like if I'm going to make a list, it's like here's 5 whiskeys or distilleries that you probably have never heard of that you should seek out and look for. That's my kind of list, right? Like, you know, 5, okay, maybe the 5 of the best whiskeys that I had this year, or 5 most memorable whiskeys I had this year, or 10, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. It really, honestly, it's a personal choice of your own, and your mileage may vary for everybody else. Nobody else may
Can
find
I
that
be
same
a
list.
negative Nancy here?
You absolutely can. We love negativity.
So I personally believe top 10 list, top 5 list of top whatever list for me is overplayed.
Way overplayed.
It's
I
it's
agree.
it's so overplayed. I've been on, I've professionally started creating content around whiskey year 6 now. And it's like when I started, those were cool.
Yeah.
Like 6 years ago, 8 years ago, those were cool. Why? Because not only you people had access to whiskey, they knew. With the market being crowded, I think it's almost a missed opportunity for most content creator not to remind people whiskeys that you may have missed while you were chasing the big 3 or the
Yeah.
top 10, right?
Yeah. Right.
The reason why is you doing really the industry a disservice by actually trying to get people to, you are telling us about, excuse my French, but shit you drink that I'm never going to see. And the 5 whiskeys in every one of your freaking list is in everybody's list. Oh, we get it.
okay.
You are big influencers. You
Yeah.
tried the Russell 15. Great for you. But let's be honest, we don't give a shit.
You are not saying anything that I don't agree with here, buddy. I totally
David
agree
Tao,
with it.
if you are in the chat, you have been called out.
No, but here's the thing. I know David, right? And even if David was here, I would tell him, David,
Yeah.
you write for Vine Pair. What that means is you get a bunch of shit that the average person cannot even get.
Yeah.
What that also means is your ass is full of a bunch of whiskey. So when you come give me your top 10, guess what? You're not doing me any service. All you're
Yep.
telling me is like, I've tasted the best of the best, and shit, here's my top 10 of the best you never fucking drink.
Yeah.
I know David is not that person. I know he's not that braggadocious. But what you telling the average consumer, because I'm for the average consumer. There's a reason why when I do reviews, I'm the first person that will tell you, you're never probably gonna see this. It's fucking expensive. What you need to do is to be able to, this is what I will compare this to. Because I never take my position where I am now and what I've built where brands can send me stuff to review or say, hey, try our shit. I don't take that for granted. I know the average person cannot get that.
Right.
But these people just, it's like your friend that have a Lamborghini and comes like, oh, this is just the last year model, right? I'm looking for the next year model. And you're like, motherfucker, I don't even drive a bicycle. So why are you telling me about your Lamborghini? So
You are completely right.
That's my negative Nancy moment.
I've been reviewing whiskey for 4 years. I have never done a top whiskeys of the year.
I don't. You will never catch me do that ever.
You can, there's 2 ways. So I rate things 2 ways. I give it a quality score, like I would grade it if I didn't know what it was. So that way blind sample reviews have the same, theoretically have the same score as if I know what it is reviews. And I've actually done really well at being consistent in that way. And then I do another score, which is value score, which factors in my subjective experience of everything in and around the bottle, what the packaging is like, what the price point is like for the quality of the liquid that you get. And there's two ways I could do a top list. I could be like, what are your best value whiskeys? And by that, I don't mean cheapest, right? I mean, like, what's your best bang for your buck experiential whiskeys? I think that is a more valuable list than what did I rate the highest. But I also don't see the need to do that unless I'm highlighting some particular thing. So what the Malt Runners blog that I'm a part of does every year is we do a best list, but it's superlatives in a category. We do best thing we tasted, worst thing we tasted, most interesting thing we tasted, the thing we can't stop talking about. And one other thing, most surprising, I think, where Lost Lantern Mountain Meadow won most surprising for me last year.
That was
2023, I mean.
surprising whiskey. That was a pretty surprising whiskey. All right, guys, how we doing on our guesses here? We looking ready?
I think I'm locked in on sample one. We wait until
Okay.
the end, right?
Well, I'll take your
we give
guesses
it and we
we'll
go.
yeah.
Oh,
and then
gotcha.
we'll reveal
Okay.
at the end. Yeah. So, Doug, we'll start with you.
Okay. Single malt. 50%. Randall. Generic casking used. Specific type American single malt. I'm calling it a stout cask.
Specific ABV proof.
Used and finished in stout specifically. Used oak and then finished in stout.
Okay, so all right, ex-bourbon stout. Do you got a specific ABV or proof?
50% on the dot.
Stan. Okay. Distillery bottle.
I'm saying Rogue Rolling Thunder Stout Cask. I don't think that's on your list, but that's a cool whiskey. So no, it's not on your list, but that's okay. I'll stick with it. Actually, that's stupid. It's not on your list. I shouldn't stick to. I know it's not that. So I'll go with my runner-up then. So I'm pretty sure it's not this, but my runner-up choice out of what I know is Westland beer cask finish.
Perfect. Okay. Jack, go ahead.
This is gonna be an interesting one.
I can't wait.
This,
I want to know what you say.
I would say this is a rye.
Okay. I can see why.
Yeah. Is it age we're going for? ABV, right? ABV?
ABV. Yep, generic ABV.
ABV 100 I would say 108 proof. Can we give approximate or
so generic, whatever number you give me, if you're within 2 plus or minus, you're going to get the point on that.
108 proof, yeah. Charred
generic
oak.
casking. New.
I would say new charred, yeah.
Specific category.
No, it'll be under, I wouldn't say a single barrel rye, but I would definitely say it's a high proof rye. Yeah. Malted rye, so that'll be it has malt in it. It has rye, so it's a straight rye malt. That's what I would go by. It's a straight rye malt.
Yeah, when you said rye, I was thinking rye malt is a better fit than single malt.
Yeah, it's a straight rye malt. That would be my choice.
Okay. Specific ABV. Now this one you got to get on the head.
I would say one more time I would go a little bit down. I would say one. I would go specific ABV. I'll go 102.
102. And do you have specific casking?
Specific casking. I'll still stick with I'll still stick with the cask, the new oak.
Okay. And do you have a distillery and bottle in mind?
I would say I was thinking more of a Pennsylvania rye, but I'm gonna go down the middle and say New Riff.
New Riff.
Interesting. That's down the middle. The New Riff has a malt rye?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I'm assuming that's the bottle that you're talking about is the malted 6-year?
Yeah, I would like to think so. It reminds me of the single barrel rye as well but the malted 6-year is what I would think. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right, guys, go ahead, get into sample number 2.
I don't have my caps. Oh well.
Shit.
Far enough away from me, I won't smell the other.
Now this is a weird one. What the hell is this, Jerm?
It's whiskey. I had to look actually what it was.
Well, it better be whiskey. This is supposed to be the whiskey blind sample showdown.
Yes, that was my being a smart ass answer.
Why you send me this? I don't like the taste at all.
What is going on in this? Okay, I'm getting like, I would say new oak if I didn't know better. It feels like a sherry bomb though.
Jerm, don't
Like
you ever
sherry bomb and new oak.
don't ever send me this again.
I'm sorry, Jack. I'm sorry I disappointed you on this one.
What the hell is this?
15-year light whiskey aged in a sherry cask.
I hate every part of this.
I
told
what is
you.
that texture?
Yeah.
It's like soapy.
If somebody make not so great whiskey, don't send it in the blind.
The gods of random have decided.
This is not prank your friends day, Jerm.
I genuinely did a spit take. I'm gonna have to clean my monitor.
No,
later.
I literally spit this thing in the trash right now. Whatever distillery it is, I apologize, but this is not it.
Okay, so the nose, I don't dislike it. It doesn't taste like a sherry bomb. I don't know what it tastes like because I couldn't hold it in my mouth.
The nose remind me of aspartame.
Ooh.
For me it was the taste is like I'm drinking diet soda with no fizz. And
That's
it feels
aspartame. You guys are right on with each other.
And it feels like you washed your mug with like soapy water and you forgot to dump out the soapy water and took a sip. It feels like that soapy glycerin mouthfeel. I never had a whiskey that feels like this. That's strange.
You know, both of you guys, I mean, I'm sure you've bought a few bottles of whiskey in your days. Sometimes you know as well as anybody that they're not all winners, but they end up in your collection.
So you send it to us? Jerm?
They end up in your collection.
What have I ever do to offend you, brother? This is what I send somebody to warn them that the next time is not going to be a bad whiskey. It's going to be my fist in their face.
Oh, Jack, I love having you on the show. You are the greatest.
I have to say, Malort is not this bad. Malort's badness is overrated.
There is like a soapiness at the end of this thing.
Yeah,
and
it just keeps
once
going.
Once we find out what distillery it is,
going.
I'm writing them an angry email right now.
and go. It's still, I spat out the whiskey a while ago, and I still am feeling and tasting. It's not angry the way that, like, it's not like hot and drying. It's just unpleasant.
Embellish Pod. Make sure you reserve your first week of March. For I
Hell
will
yeah.
be announcing it soon, but you are closer. How many people do we have on the cast now, Jerm? So I don't say it to the public yet. So only the people that watch can know what may happen.
14.
Okay,
We are
14
the
people will be
videos
good.
are going to be available after, just
But
so
it
you know.
is available afterwards, yes.
Okay. John, send me a text. I will tell you what's happening, but it's happening in Kentucky, and it's happening at a really well-known distillery that you like. Let's just say it rhymes with Vermont.
Excellent.
Yeah, John, whenever
sir.
we happen to be in the same city, we should meet up. That goes without saying.
Okay. I this is the sample that's gonna make me fall out of the competition because you just ruined my taste bud. Jerm, you know which state are you in again? Because when I see you, I'm literally gonna like sock punch you.
Okay,
So you realize.
so hold on now. Can we both agree to just not take any points on this one and move the hell on?
Yeah, I'm like I don't understand.
I mean,
Whatever
you
guess
can
I'm gonna put
if that's
here.
what you want to do.
Okay, what if we go on to the third sample and then come back to this so we can completely destroy our palates later?
Let me wash that ass out of my mouth so I can go to real whiskey. Jerm, this is violence. I'm telling you. This is abuse.
Violence.
And
this
never
was all
going to
randomized.
forgive
I
you
don't
for
know.
this. Anywhere I am, people say your name. The first thing I'm gonna say is, "Oh, that
he
guy."
sent me shit.
Let me tell you what he did to me. If it was just me, I'll be like, you know what? I'm calling it. It's violence against a starving African kid. But it's me and dog, so I can't even say that.
You heard it here, guys. Jack is calling my sample a hate crime.
So, yeah, and you had me on to plausibly make it not a hate crime.
Make it not.
You're hating on both of us equally.
Yeah, this is abuse. I'm totally going.
I don't know what I would say about this. So what I said earlier, that 15-year light whiskey aged in sherry, I feel like in some ways is not that far off.
You literally gave that whiskey too much credit. Because to even call it a 15-year light whiskey, you disrespecting the light of the 15-year
Penelope. To be fair,
Penelope whiskey that is actually amazing, by the way.
Yeah, no, and it is. I've had some great.
So you can't even bring this thing close to that. It's like comparing your grandma's butt to a top model butt. That's not the same thing, bro.
Okay, so Dan,
yeah, that's the question. Jerm, do you like this sample yourself?
Like
because this is why we need to know. Because if you subject us to this, do you like it?
I don't hate it. However,
yeah,
I do not like it. I do not like it anywhere near as much as the other stuff that they put out.
Wait, is this samples from the Whiskey Shaman?
No, these are all from back here.
Randall, who called your sample a hate crime?
I think he was just repeating what I said.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I don't know where to go with this.
About freaking time having regular whiskey. Now my nose hair are burnt from this.
Are we just skipping to number 3? We're just not doing number 2. All right,
because
cool.
I can go to number 2.
Okay.
There should be a way to actually call.
Let's come back around to number 2 when we
All
can
right, we'll
ruin
come
our
back around
palates
to
after
2.
we
All
do
right.
number 3. I feel better about that. Cool. This is highly irregular. Never before has this happened in the
Throw
history
the
of
format out the window.
blind sample. Yeah, no, we're just Jerm. Sorry, this isn't your format anymore. Jack and I are in charge.
But I've given up. I'm just here to commentate. I'm just gonna read comments and post. You guys go on.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, I agree, Jack. This here is real whiskey.
Yeah. The atrocity we were submitted to is made up by this thing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You got to highlight John's comment.
I don't even see comment because I'm on my phone.
Hold your number 2 till later.
Yeah,
Get
hold your number
work
2.
for it.
Exactly. Hold your number 2 there because this definitely is a number 2.
We already
Oh,
kept
Yes.
now we talking.
Germ. Well, I'm not. Yeah. This might be Germ. This might be the first time you've sent me something in this category for real that hasn't just been me being mistaken. But we'll see.
I don't.
This is a whiskey you sit down with your boys. And
Yeah.
you enjoy.
Hell yeah. That's exactly what I thought. I put this up to my nose and I'm like, this is fire pit whiskey. This is hanging out, sitting on the lawn chairs whiskey. This is a chat with your bro.
Mm-hmm. Like, bro, I think I may have gotten my side chick pregnant type of whiskey. This is it.
Spencer, yes, you definitely did pick a weird time to jump in. But thank you for jumping in. I appreciate you.
I can't read the comments because I'm not going to actually think about what I'm drinking.
I'm still floored by we just skipped sample number 2. Fuck sample 2. We're just moving on to 3.
Because what you just did there, it was a crime, brother. You if you hated us, just say it. You don't have to send us bad whiskey.
I've always kind of thought, you know.
I am gonna feel bad when you guys.
Germ's like, I've had the better name for American single malt. Taking vengeance. You already have the better name. Actually, your name is misspelled on screen.
It is? Oh yeah, it is. See, I hate this thing sometimes. I think I can change it right now too.
You can change it.
You can. It's in the I think it's the ... on your
Go. I don't know how that even happened. Oh, I know how it happened because sometimes I take the Freedom Malts off when I do other people's shows. And then I probably typed it in and missed a couple.
Sample number 2 messed up my palate, man.
That's what I said.
You guys got water?
Yeah.
I've been drinking a whole glass.
Give me some water in about 2 hours.
You know what? Beaver Anus whiskey is pretty right. I mean, Patricia, you are on point with this one.
Can't we all just get along over bad whiskey?
You know what?
Oh,
whatever this is, I want a whole bottle. Whatever this third whiskey is, I want a bottle.
Excellent.
I agree.
This is the whiskey I want to take amongst people I give a shit about.
I love that.
If ever, I also want to know what sample 2 is, so I take it where I hit everybody, so they know that I didn't want to be here to begin with.
You got to take it to the poker game.
Yeah.
it's light in flavor compared to the
It
other
is,
ones, but it's really, really good.
but
light
it
in
is
flavor.
also it has finesse. It's fluffy.
Mhm.
There's a creaminess about this whiskey that
Absolutely.
this 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 whiskey is like a first kiss. It makes you a little nervous. You want it. You're gonna enjoy it, but you sweating your ass off because you don't know how it's gonna go.
I love
You
that.
don't know if you want to go full tongue, no tongue, but you know you're loving it.
Wait, are we talking about first kiss ever?
You know what? It depends on how old you were when you had your first kid.
Okay, fair.
Kiss.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like full tongue is not on the table if it's your first ever kiss.
Hey,
Maybe.
hey,
I don't know.
I've
People are freaky.
heard some strange stories. Trust me.
People who just think that's what you're supposed to do and completely misinterpret what that actually means.
Yeah. Yeah, Germ, whatever 3 is, I want the bottle.
I don't
Excellent.
even care what it
I
is.
have a
I
feeling
love it.
I have a feeling this is a limited edition.
I think I have a fairly good guess, at least among my experience of what this could be. Doesn't a prison kiss involve the other end?
That's
Oh.
consensual. That's consensual.
What a
is as
great show to come
consensual
back
as
from
the-
break.
is as consensual as the line, you gonna eat your cornbread.
I couldn't ask for a better pair to come back to. That was just this is awesome.
All right. I think I got it.
Jack, you're ready. Doug?
It is so good. 3 is so good. If there was a whiskey that had an evil twin, that would be 3, and the evil twin is 2.
Is 2. All right. Hey, I'm in.
I'd say an evil twin is making them too related.
I mean, I feel like they're kind of in the same category when you actually were like the type of whiskey they are. But I also feel like, yeah, it's like giving whiskey to someone and they go, you know what I'm going to do to this whiskey? Let me fart on it and put it in the barrel. After I wash the barrel with fresh soap. That's what happened. And when we revealed this, I'm telling you, whomever made this whiskey, like, did I ever tell you why me and Chattanooga whiskey have beef till 7 years from now? Did I ever tell you the story?
I think you did, yes. On the last show, I think you told us this. I don't remember though, so please.
So
indulge.
one of the things I have beef with in general in the whiskey industry is people that use cask for the sake of just using cask.
Yeah.
And Chattanooga 5 years ago in their experimental barrel used a mead cask for their 4 years or 3.5 year whiskey.
I could see that
whiskey, that whiskey is definitely this whiskey right here. It was trash. If trash was something, till the day Chattanooga pay me back my $69.99 plus tax and shipping, we will have beef forever. Because they have assaulted my taste bud with that mead barrel by taking their young ass whiskey and putting it in a trash barrel and handing it to us and hoping we don't know that was trash.
I'm glad these
Chattanooga
were
whiskey,
free for you, so I don't owe you money.
we still got beef. Let me make sure. Let me see if Chattanooga is on this list, so I know if they're the one doing this shit again.
I'm checking the list too.
Yep. They're straight mall right, so that can be it.
There's one thing this could be that it would be so cool if that's what it is, because it would be my chance to try it not knowing what it is. Like, you ever get like excited? You're like, I hope this blind is that, because this tells me what I really think of it without all the marketing fluff. You know what I mean?
You guys have said some things tonight. I just got to say, I mean, you both have said some very, very strong things tonight. So I'm just going to throw that out there right now.
Who's the sponsor of the show, and you trying to be PG-13? Or are you trying to be the voice of reason?
You're supposed to have sponsors.
Yes, I am supposed to have sponsors. God damn it! Are you guys ready on sample number 3?
We are. I am.
I don't have a guess on the bottle, but I'm pretty sure I'm good on everything else.
Okay.
You want a minute yet? You got a minute, because I'm going to drop my sponsors ad here, because I
let's do
totally
that.
forgot about it, because this has been fun. So here you go. You got 30 seconds, Doug. Yes, Richard's Liquors sponsors the show. No, they do not ship. They are in Wisconsin. So please, if you visit the state, stop into Richard's Liquors. Get yourself a dick pic. Take a look around. They're great people. It's a great store. It does great things. Yeah, and
that ad read could have been part of your video.
I know it could have. I gotta figure out how to do that better.
Oh, it's cool to have our faces back up, I guess.
It is. But yeah, follow him on Instagram, follow him on Facebook. He does have a YouTube. He doesn't do a lot with the YouTube stuff, but Instagram and Facebook, he is humorous, puts out really funny stuff. So definitely worth checking out. But yeah, definitely, if you come to the state, they're not far from just about anywhere you want to go in the state. So hit them up. All right, Doug, you got your bottle guess yet? No, you didn't do it. You watched the video, didn't you?
Yeah. I found a match for the ABV on your list that also might be it. So yes.
All right, Jack, we're going to start with you. Generic category on sample number 3.
Single malt.
Okay. Generic ABV or proof?
I would say 120.
Okay. And generic casking?
Bourbon and sherry.
Used.
Yes.
And then your specific is going to be ex-bourbon and sherry.
Ex-bourbon and sherry cask, yeah. It'll probably second field or third field sherry.
I exactly agree with that.
Specific category?
Scotch.
Scottish single malt. And your specific ABV proof?
I'll probably go about, I won't go over, I would say 118-ish if I had to be specific, but.
Okay.
And I have
And
the wrong sample?
Distillery guess.
You know what? Make that 110.
110. There you go, Doug. See what
Doug says something that got me thinking. Yeah. And
okay. Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything. Should have held my tongue.
And then what did you say?
Exact distillery and bottle guess.
I'll probably say this is
Jack just turned sideways.
He did.
Yes, I did. I think this will be an SMW bottle.
Okay.
And I will say this remind me of something that came from Speyside. So on SMW usually it's a title and where it's from.
Yeah. So for this instance, if you're gonna go with a indie bottler, SMWS is good for the bottle guess. I don't care what like number and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But distillery, do you got a distillery in mind?
Is a Space Side Distillery. It's hard with SMW.
Yeah, they do almost all of them, I think.
Yeah. I will go with. Let's go with Glen Grant. Right now. I would just do that right now. But I know that's not it.
Grant. Very good. All right, Doug, run them down.
All right, single malt,
Okay.
specifically Scotch single malt. I am saying 46%.
46%. Generic casking.
Used.
Specific ABV or proof.
Sticking at 46% on the dot.
Specific casking.
Ex-bourbon and sherry. And I agree. I was going to say second or third fill, but I'm not sure that Jerm is counting that too
Doesn't matter to
precisely.
me. No.
We're
Do you
picking
have a
up the same
distillery
things.
and bottle?
Yeah, I'm calling it Loch Lomond 18.
Ooh.
I can see that. I can see that. Isn't Loch Lomond in the Highland? Let me see.
I think so.
I believe it is in the Highland. I mean, Loch Lomond is so far out.
And I'm going on vibes. Like,
Okay.
I mean, partly like it fits the flavor profile. It fits the
No, yeah, Loch Lomond
the
is in the
style and
Highland.
everything. But like
I still
way
know my Scotch. Loch Lomond is in the Highlands.
yeah.
It's partially in the Highland and part of it is in the Lowland. But yeah, it is in the Highland.
All right. So the big question for the evening. Do you guys want to take a run at sample number 2?
All right, I'm going to say this has to be two-party enthusiastic consent.
Last time
So
I was asked to
I know you both hated
party and to enthusiastic, I end up with a baby. So yeah, go ahead.
So I love this one. I've enjoyed the ones I enjoyed. I'm willing to go back to sample number 2 and give it a shot.
Okay.
I'm willing to say fuck sample number 2. I don't want to review it, but
Okay.
it's your call. If you want to do it, I'm okay doing it because let's do this. If between 1 and 2 we don't have a winner, or since our answer is so like opposite on 1
Mm-hmm.
and 2 we are kind of similar, between
Mhm.
1 and 2 if we have same point, kind of tiebreaker, let's use number 2 as a tiebreaker.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
All right. So we're going to go through sample number 3 and reveal, or sample numbers 1 and 3 and reveal.
Correct.
Okay. And if you guys are tied at the end of those 2,
We'll
go through sample number 2.
We'll review number 2 to kind of break the tie.
I will break format for this because I do know you both hated sample number 2. So, which I was going to reveal sample number 2 first because there was such a universal hate for it. But
no, let's do it at the end. If after we figure out who won, because I'm okay losing to Doug on 2 sample, knowing that we both hate one thing in common.
All right. So here we go. We're gonna do
collusion. Yeah, I suppose in this case it is.
There's a little collusion here, but you both seem to really, really, really enjoy sample number 3. So we're gonna start with sample number 3, which you did tie on.
Okay.
So
we
you
got
both
0.
got the same amount of points.
Okay.
Doug, Jack, you both said single malt. You're both taking a point on that. It is single malt. Doug, you said 46%. Jack, you said 120 proof. Neither one of you got a point on that. It is actually 43%, 86 proof.
Okay, well, at least I was closer.
That might be the shittiest number 2 that induced me in all these mistakes.
You both said used casking for generic. You both got a point for that. It is used casking. You both said Scottish single malt. You are correct. It is Scottish single malt. So
Okay,
both
no tricky Irish single malts tonight.
Nope, no tricks there. Doug, you stayed at the 46. Jack, you went down quite a bit to 110 proof, but we are at 86 proof, so no points on that one.
Okay.
You both said ex-bourbon and sherry for specific casking. No points there. It is ex-bourbon only.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That was a distinct possibility, but I stand by second fill sherry.
I stand by second and third fill. Dog,
and I will tell
you know what?
Just knowing this whiskey, I would totally 100% agree with you without having to look it up. I would have 100% agreed with you that there was some sherry in there. Doug, you said Loch Lomond and an 18 for the bottle. Jack, you said a Glen Grant in an SMWS bottle. I'm hoping you are both pleasantly surprised that, Jack, you can go to the store, any store you want, and pick this bottle up. It is regular old Glenmorangie 10.
I wrote that in my runners up.
You were in the Highlands. You were in the Highlands, so you were right. You were in the Highlands, so you were right.
That amazing what you said, like how much you actually enjoyed this, and this was you want to know
the funniest thing, like the craziest thing, Jerm. I last week I was just talking to Dan, the brand ambassador of Glenmorangie.
Okay,
which he lives here in Omaha, and we are just chit chatting, and he's like, "Dude, if you like the regular thing," he just handed me this bottle. He's like, "There's a." We had it, and the final consensus of it is 3 licks to get to the middle. So you need to have it 3 times to enjoy the taste of ice cream that they're talking about.
Okay.
So
perfect.
Yes. So I love Glenmorangie, but I didn't even think of them because there was this creaminess that I was like, it'll be Glenmorangie, but I'm like, oh, it's too simple, So yeah.
I am surprised by that bottle. As basic as it is, the lower proof, it's always a solid dram.
And I think a lot of people hate on Glenmorangie, but they make solid whiskey.
It's fantastic whiskey, and you guys had no idea what it was, and you both absolutely 100% enjoyed the shit out of it.
But also, we just came from a terrible.
We did come from sample number 2.
But you knew right away. I mean, you guys knew right away that it was good whiskey. You both had the idea that it was a single malt. It was Scottish. It was used barrel. I mean, you were right on with most of that.
This is why I love blinds, because like it doesn't matter whether I'm right or wrong, and it doesn't matter whether I'm like, I mean, I'm happy that I can buy this bottle. I'm going to go recommend this bottle to people. I've actually never had Glenmorangie 10. I've had other.
Oh
wow, really? Okay.
So I will tell you right now, you may want to pick, if there's still that bottle, you may want to pick it up because
they switched to the 12 now.
It's been phased out.
Oh, okay.
So if you find that one, and usually the place you find it is Costco, if you find that one, grab it because it's no longer going to be part of the portfolio.
And I am, after pouring your guys' samples, I am dramatically low, so I gotta go do the same. I gotta go find 1 or 2 of these.
Yeah.
So this is why top lists are stupid, because on Vibes, this is a whiskey I want to bring out.
Dude, this is a whiskey I would share with anybody.
Right. Exactly.
It doesn't, and what's great is this is
never made it
of whiskey.
Guarantee.
So what I was going to say is it would be funny because the Notch 12 has a similar kind of light whiskey, like light. I don't mean light whiskey, but like a light Speyside-ish character.
Yes.
And I was actually kind of hoping that this was Notch 12 because that would tell me how much I really like that when I don't know the price point. Because with the Notch, it's so obviously an ultra premium price point. It's hard to objectively evaluate that.
Yes.
So that's what I was talking about there. So that was one of my runners up that I wrote down. But yeah, I'm glad that my brain at least like lingered for a second on Glenmorangie. That could be that.
Well, there you go. All right. Reveal sample number 1.
This is where we would know how me
You
and
were
Doug stand. We are
opposite ends of the
far
spectrum on this one.
opposites. Yeah.
The points were not a tie on this one.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
All right. Good game, Jack.
No,
you're going on to the next
Doug.
round.
It's probably you. It's probably you, man.
Doug, you said single malt. Jack,
Uh-huh.
you said rye. Jack, you got the point on that. It is a rye whiskey. Generic ABV. Doug, you said 50%. Jack, you said 108 proof. You are both wrong. No points there. It is 66.8%.
Ooh.
133.6 proof.
Holy shit.
Doug, you said used casking. Jack, you said new. Jack, you're going to take a point on that. It is new casking.
Okay.
Doug, you said American single malt. Jack, you tested my poker face extremely. You said straight rye malt whiskey. It is straight rye malt whiskey.
All right.
Awesome.
You guys kept your proofs relatively close. Doug, you stayed the same. Jack, you went down a little bit. So no points on that one. Specific casking, you said Doug, ex-bourbon and stout. Jack, you kept it at new. Jack, you take a point on that one. Exact distillery. Doug, you said Westland and the beer cask. Jack, you said New Riff malted 6-year rye. It is, however, Old Potrero.
Oh, Old Porter. Oh, didn't think about that.
100% malted rye. Now, Jack, this is a single barrel as well. This is
That's
8.5
what you
year
see.
old.
I did say single barrel
You
because
did.
it tasted, because they sent me a sample of it before, and I tasted. I'm like, I know I've tasted this before. I just didn't know what. Shit.
That is one of my absolute favorite brands of whiskey out there right now. I think they're doing some really, really cool things. I think they've been doing really, really cool things. And I think more people need to know about them.
Jerm, I will tell you this. Kevin Aslan, the master blender and distiller.
Yeah.
That guy is like one of the bros, like one of the guys, right?
Nice.
Like his demeanor is very, like, he's more like dog, very laid back, very cool dude. But when you want to get nerdy with someone and talk about whiskey, Kevin act as if he's not a distiller. He act like he's a drinker like you.
Just
So
like
you guys
just a
will
chill dude.
nerd the hell out. Like, we are here talking about what do you call it? Old Portoro makes what do you call it? They make Hirsch.
Okay.
So they're the same people. They make Hirsch and Old Portoro. And I'm telling you, you talk to this guy and you're like, dude, you cannot be this cool and be part of the people that make the whiskey. So just a shout out to them.
Nice.
I've never had anything from the brand.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's very surprising because you need to explore a little bit of them. If you see single barrels or even just regular stuff, just try them out a little bit. They're super, super good. I would love to see some of their stuff done in used oak just to kind of see what it's like in used oak. But even as they put it out right now, I love how they come across. I mean, you get a little bit of that rye, but you get some nice malt fruits and all. It's fantastic. All right,
Jason, I'm always interested in trying anything that I haven't had before. It's just there's so many things. There's no way to list it, right? There's always going to be another box. Thank you for the box you sent.
So over sample number 1 and sample number 3, we have a score of 3-7 in favor of Jack. So I will leave it up to you guys. Do you want to try to shoot on sample number 2 and see what happens?
I don't think there's a chance we're going to have a 4-point spread on number 2.
But now we want to know why you hate us, so you can tell us about number 2.
All right. So, like, for no points, I am going to stick by my guess that it is a sherry cask, and I think it's a light whiskey.
For no points, I'm going to say is number 2 is an American single malt. It is.
I feel personally attacked, but I don't know why.
It is sherry cask, and is also shit.
Just to be clear, except for a slight sulfury note from the nose that may be sherry, I don't think this
Don't try to
actually
back
smells like
out
shit.
now that I say is American single malt. You know,
No.
There is
I'm
somebody
fine
put
with that.
some soap in this whiskey.
I'm just saying it doesn't literally taste like shit. That's all I'm saying for chat's
No,
sake.
not like shit, but compared to its fellow, it's like somebody looking at you and say, compared to your brothers, you are shit because they did better than you in life. And you just go, you know what? That's okay. It's compared to your brothers, but in your own category, you may be standing for something.
So you're both right. There is sherry here.
Okay.
So you guys, you did pick up the sherry. Jack, it is an ASM.
I know it is. Because that till December 19, that was the wild, wild west of things that could go wrong. And
I don't think it's going to change a whole lot, to be honest.
I
don't
think
think so
I
either.
know what it is, but I don't want to say it out of my mouth because maybe they may be better. But for all I know,
Well, look, somebody can always
I'm
take this
curious
video
to
as
know.
context and say.
I'm curious to know what you think it is, Jack.
no, I'm not gonna say.
No. If you tell us what it is
today,
then
I would like
we
not
will
to be
eat.
canceled for 2025.
We will eat the
I'm
dinner
still
that we've
sending
cooked.
email for sponsorship, so I don't want to be canceled today.
This is the first stream I've done all year, and it might be the last.
All right, Doug, your feelings are gonna be hurt here.
Okay, go for it.
It is Whiskey Del Bach.
What? No
Frontera.
freaking way. No
Yep.
freaking way.
This is an
There's
early
something
bottle
wrong
of
with your bottle.
This is an early bottle of Frontera.
Oh, it's an early bottle, because the recent one that I have from last year is fantastic and doesn't feel or taste like this at all, and it actually is smoky, which this isn't at all.
Right. So Doug, I think I have a theory, because this happened before to one of the brand that sent me a bottle and had to send me another one. So that soap taste?
Yeah.
So for smaller distillery, they use what they call a gas compressor level to push whiskey in.
Mm-hmm.
Normally what they do is they have to wash. Like, I've learned this at a small distillery. They literally have to wash the first 2 run out. Because if you plug it in, let's say you plug your whiskey into the thing, and let's say you come 6 hours later when the whiskey was already in the pipe and it didn't clear the pipe out and press the compressor to actually get the whiskey out, some of the compressor that does it fumes get into the air, can compromise the air that pushed it in, which create almost like a gasoline / soapy taste to the whiskey. So it happened with like a run where a whiskey, for only the people that ever tasted that whiskey, had to be recalled completely out, and people get new bottles because their first 3 batches of what they ran was just shit, because they left the machine on overnight and came early morning at 3 o'clock and started bottling it. And no one paid attention to say, what does that taste like out of the bottle?
That makes sense. I don't know if that's what happened here, but
it reminds me of that, because that whiskey.
So
today,
so how long ago? My question is, does this predate Mark? Because Mark was telling a story about quality control. Like, he came into the distillery and like overhauled their quality control and their sensory controls on the end products that they were releasing.
So I cannot speak for when this was bottled. Okay. I can speak for when I purchased it, and I don't know when Mark started. but I purchased this probably in mid-June, early July, somewhere in that realm of 2022.
Okay.
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 So not
So
that long
If you
ago.
it's not
purchased it
crazy
then,
long ago, but that bottle could have been sitting for a while too.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you purchased that then, I would say it was probably bottled 6 months before that. So we got to go in 2021.
Minimum of that, but it
Yeah,
could have
of
been
that.
sitting on the store
Yeah.
shelf for 8 months, 9 months, 10 months.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? Who knows? So I know it's an early bottle because it isn't smoked. I get. Because they now use some of the mesquited malt in the Frontera. So, right, Doug, is that correct?
They do, yeah. Now they
Yeah,
use mesquited
that's
smoke,
what I thought.
mesquited malt in the Frontera. Unless I hope I'm not mistaken about that. I believe that's
I don't think you are, because I think I remember that as well. So,
I mean, like,
and I don't
shit,
think it's like a lot
I
of it,
have a
but I think I
Frontera on my desk right now. Let me just pour a little.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Just pour a newer like a newer version
Right.
of it.
do a
And let's
comparison.
see, beside the smoke, the mesquite, are we having a profile that is? Because I tell you what, if this is how I met Whiskey Del Back, absolutely not.
Right. They
Absolutely
don't make
not.
this is not, and I'll agree with you. I don't love this whiskey, and that's probably why it's been sitting for so long in my cabinet, because it isn't the best Del Bach that I've had. Now I've had other Del Bachs that are absolutely stellar.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I can't knock the brand. I can't for that particular bottle.
Correct.
Could that bottle be bad? Sure, that bottle could be bad. Could that just be a bad run off the bottling line? Sure, it could have been.
Maybe.
Whatever.
But
But it's not the
like I
distiller.
said, in my experience, the only time that kind of soapiness happened, like it took literally those people, like I'm talking like TTB sending someone to walk into their distillery, like you guys are doing something to the whiskey. Like that's how much people complain because they
Oh.
just started business. And the only thing they were able to find is that the thing was put in at 10 p.m., was left on and back on at 3 o'clock in the morning. And every batch, the first 3 batch of the 6 or 7 bottles that came out of that, boom, get out, was just terrible.
Okay, so first of all, read that comment.
I'm dying at this because one, you're not wrong, except for the 17 years part.
Because Del Bach is not that old.
They're not that old, but the exaggeration is well warranted, and because it's not High Life or Dancing Goat, yes, I 100%.
Okay, so to answer the question, when did Mark join Del Bach? There's a press release from Craft Spirits Mag on August 18th, 2021, announcing that he was hired as head distiller.
Okay.
So there is a very good chance that this Frontera was blended before Mark was involved with the company.
I know
now,
it's not anything like the other Del Bachs.
Yeah, and now, I mean, I don't know if you can. They actually are surprisingly close in color, interestingly. But this one has a lot less of that aggressive sherry on the nose. The smoke is more present. It's a much more balanced whiskey. Really good.
Yeah. Okay.
This was one of my favorite things to drink in 2024.
Right.
So the fact that I hated this is a shock. But
So,
it is a different distiller staff.
Whiskey Shaman, what we're contemplating here, we know that the Frontera, as they release it today and recently, is a mesquited whiskey finished in sherry. What we're thinking is some of this earlier stuff in Frontera line was not mesquited. It was just their classic finished in sherry, and it doesn't have that the mesquite smoke in it.
I will say
I don't know 100%. Like, I don't know if they have any kind of markings on the bottle to say when it was done or anything like that, but that would make it easier to track to see where it was, because I'm sure we could find out on that.
Oh yeah, I wonder. I think,
but there is.
I
don't see any. So
because there's a batch number on mine. Mine says batch 3.
So okay, so mine does not. have any batch number.
That suggests it's batch 1. Possibly.
Where's your batch number, on the front or the back?
It's on the back, bottom of the label, after it says distilled and bottled by Whiskey Del Bach in Tucson, on the left of the barcode.
Nope, nothing.
Here, I'll just hold it up to the camera so you can see.
So I got nothing there.
It's not focusing, but it's that text right there.
Yep.
In the middle.
And I got absolutely nothing there.
So I'll say another thing, and this is going to be on the record already once I publish the review. My wife poured me, when I was practicing for Blind Sample Showdown for the October episode. My wife poured me some blinds from anything in my collection, so 350 bottles of whiskey. And one of the things she happened to pour me was Del Bach Classic. And I didn't hate it like I hated this one today, but I thought that it was rather boring and bland, and I thought it was a Canadian, like a light flavored Canadian whiskey with a finish, of which I have one. So I thought it was that whiskey. In fact, Whiskey Del Bach. I think it's fair to say I don't particularly like Del Bach's unmesquiteed profile, like for the price point. Because again, it's not bad, but for $60, I want something that has some heft at least.
That mesquiteed is so good. The Dorado.
But the mesquiteed whiskey is, you got to go buy the mesquiteed whiskey. Del Bach is so good.
Yeah. All right. So with that, we're running. We're in an hour and 21. We never have an hour 21 show, but you guys are great today. Lots of laughs, lots of funniness.
So okay, Spencer has an update. So this is it not mesquiteed? So they take classic and finish it in Pedro Jimenez. Okay, now I have to go back and listen to the episode.
Yeah.
Because Mark told me what went into this batch 3 bottle that he sent me for that interview.
My belief, Spencer, is that website is way out of date.
I think that's the case too.
Yeah.
But that's their own
I remember
website.
him saying that in your interview with him.
That it's out of date. Okay.
No,
or the current information.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll have to run that by them. They need to update the website or clarify that.
Get to the bottom of what the case is. But either way, we didn't like this, whatever this one was.
John, you are correct. I was just emailing a brand and I was like, if you're really tight on schedule, we can maybe manage an hour, but even that feels rushed for our show.
Doug shows are so long.
I take that as good constructive criticism, and I'm working on it. I promise. It's just really hard.
Lovely. I thoroughly enjoy it. You know you're going to be there for at least another 25, 35 minutes when Doug says, "I hate to play devil's advocate here." But anyways, to finish up this one,
some nuance.
Yeah, to finish up this show, Jack, you are going to take it at 3-7. 7 points for Jack, 3 for Doug. That is without sample number 2. So we are just on sample number 1 and sample number 3. We collectively have decided to scrap sample number 2, which is a first for me. But you know what?
Even if we had included it, Jack got more points than me.
He did.
So I'll just put that out there. Decisive win. Congratulations, Jack.
Brother, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun, as usual.
I haven't laughed this hard on a stream in like a year.
I don't know why I'm here. Apparently, I have a good taste bud, so I'm gonna keep going till we figure this shit out.
March 5th will be the next show for you, Jack. Does that sound something like very possible for you?
March 5th, I think. Yes, if everything goes right. Let me see a weekend on March 5th. Yeah.
By the way, John just gave me an idea with that comment. Jack, you need to come on my show. We need to talk about American single malt whiskey.
We do because I have strong. Now, I warn people before I go to their show. There is 0.5% of a chance you'll be canceled after me, but it will be worth every single minute of it.
Look, we'll bleep and edit and all that good stuff for the podcast, but the YouTube is unedited, great live stuff. I'll take it down if I have to. But
the fit, I
I
think the
think my
fit
show
will
needs a
work.
dose of realism, right? Because I only invite people on the show when I know that I like them.
Oh,
I'm trying to change that a little bit, but I have to have a strategy for it a little bit. Like if I don't only have good things to say about a brand, I kind of don't want to go there because I don't want to bring somebody on and then have them feel like I made them look bad or that whatever at the end. I'm
are
not
you
that important, but
a real journalist if you don't ask the tough questions?
I've been asking myself that question, and that's one of the reasons I want to switch to pre-recorded because then I can ask the tough questions and cut them if the answers make us look like assholes.
Nah, I come on. You're alive. We gonna talk about it. And if you fuck up, that's your fuck up. But that's not me. I'm still gonna ask the question. Like I had brand when I would say I'll do an interview. They're like, "Oh, we don't do live," and I say, "How else people gonna know if I like the whiskey?" And the person's like, "What?" I'm like, "How else people are gonna know?" Because I'm tasting for even brand that I just discovered. I'll be like, if I turn this camera, there's samples there that it's been almost 9 months. I haven't touched because we weren't able to reschedule. So I was like, I'm not gonna open the whiskey because what I'm known for is authenticity and raw, unedited things. So when I taste your whiskey, I was live with somebody. I told him immediately, I was never gonna advise any of my friends to buy this expression of yours, but this one you did great. And the person's like, really? I said, this expression here is what I would give someone that I really don't like. And I was very honest because the truth here is I'm not gonna turn around and pretend because
No.
it's the same way. If I really love an expression, I will send them flower, roses. I will uplift it. I will sell it out there for people to buy. But if you have one that doesn't work, I would look at you and say, it was great interviewing you, but none of the whiskey you put out here is something I would advise to people. But if you want to be curious, like people try Merlot, come try this whiskey because maybe you will like it. That's it. Yeah, I'm
I
very
like
very
that.
much honest. You will not get anything from me that is bologna and cheese. We can make you feel great and say there, but I think there is enough people in the industry that makes brand feel great. So when it comes to us that at least have a decent palate and at least understand really or have tasted enough whiskey, you just have to, you just literally had to look at people in the eye and say, and I had people literally be mad at me. But guess what? For the people that got my criticism were okay with it, I had a brand that came back 2 years later with whiskey and say, I'm only here to prove to you that we can make great whiskey.
Yep.
And I said, bring it on, brother. Bring it on. And we tasted it. I'm like, dude, all he needed was 2 fucking years in the oak barrel, and now you got great whiskey. Because at that time, too young.
I'm going to respond to a couple of those comments. So first of all, John, I have a hard time believing I was your 7th viewer. So there's no way that you only have 7 viewers. I believe your YouTube channel says that you're lying. And so Jason, that is a good question. Am I trying to be a journalist? Basically, the answer is no, with an asterisk. Am I trying to use my platform to promote whiskey I believe in? Absolutely. That is goal number 1. And to the first thing with the asterisk, the reason I have a podcast is because I wanted to write a book about American single malt whiskey. In order to write the book, I wanted to have authentic one-on-one interviews with the people that I was going to feature in the book. And as long as I was doing that to give them value for their time, I wanted to publish it somewhere. That's why there's a podcast. The podcast does, unfortunately, I think, just by virtue of the live content, sometimes I don't get around to asking the questions that will really add to the content of the book. Not necessarily the hard questions, but the good news is I now have a relationship with all those people. I can send them an email. I can ask for another interview if I need to, and I can get those answers that I need. So I am working on the book. 2025 is the year of the book. You'll see some changes to the podcast content schedule, if nothing else, to support that. I really hope I get the book published by end of 2025. And John,
We'll
you're
be
finally.
here and
I'm
we'll
finally going to have
support
a
it.
draft of the book, and you get to interview me again.
we will support it. We'll make sure we rally behind you because for me,
Absolutely.
that's amazing news, and you should be proud of yourself, and we are proud of you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
100%.
Oh, and by the way, spicy strawberry. If you or anybody feels like I am not being genuine, just because the vast majority of whiskey featured on my show, I say I like, you should look at my reviews on Reddit from before I had the podcast, because I do review things I don't like. I try not to give them a whole lot of attention with the person that made them sitting right in front of me, because I think that's just a kindness. But again, I don't invite those people on my show if I don't like their whiskey.
And to go off of that, Doug,
Let's
for
get Doug on
me,
more tangents.
if I'm going to talk about a whiskey, it's because I like it, and because
Yeah.
I stand behind it, because I think it's great. I have plenty of whiskey that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't talk about it. I don't just because I don't like it doesn't mean that the next 10 people down the line aren't going to like it. So why should
Yep.
I be negative about it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that. I want to talk about the stuff that I like. So that's what I do. So
I agree.
but with that, guys, we gotta kill this one. I'm going to read off just my last two sponsorships. Our friends over at the Bourbon with Friends podcast, available on every platform that you can listen to podcasts on. Also on YouTube. Join Martin, Brian, Adrian as they chat with amazing guests about all things whiskey and spirits related, and how a bourbon with friends can change the world. And also our friends over at 10th Mountain Whiskey, making rye whiskey, bourbon whiskey, American single malt, as well as brandy, cordials, moonshine, and a potato vodka. They are available in person at the distillery in Vail, Colorado, or you can ship them from 10thwhiskey.com. They are shipping to 41 states. Distribution currently growing at 28 states plus. If your local retailer does not have them, please ask for them and see if they can bring them in. But check them out at 10thwhiskey.com. That is 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirit Company. So thank you to our sponsors, Richards, 10th Mountain, and Bourbon with Friends podcast. Both of you guys, excellent job tonight. I am sorry for sending you such a sample that just did it for you, just hurt you, and you thought it was a hate crime. And I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, but the randomizer doesn't take favorites, doesn't pick sides. It just picks whiskey. That's all it does.
You can be forgiven for sending a Delbach. It's a good brand.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you have a bad bottle or a bad batch.
I think so. And like I said, I know this is a very early batch. So I know guys out there, everybody listening, watching, whatever, do not shut out Del Bach because of that reaction to that sample. This is a very much one-off bottle. Everything else I've had from Del Bach has been fantastic.
And even me, the guy talking smack, by the way,
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we are clear. I'm pretty sure I've interviewed Whiskey That Back myself, and I've had them on. I'm pretty sure, and I was impressed by the mystique. I was impressed by how, and I'm very, very much sure I've had him on. But I want to verify on my YouTube just to be sure that I'm not full of shit. But I do know I've had them on. So I want to make sure that this is before we knew what it was. I guess it's more like be careful which whiskey you're buying in Wisconsin, I guess. But but,
And I could have bought this in Illinois. I travel all over the place, so I could have bought this anywhere.
You just gonna blame another state. Okay. But I will be honest and say that I have not had, I have not had honestly anything bad to say really about
No.
Delback, because honestly, when like I say, I'm looking because I'm pretty sure. Yep, I've had him on, and good things. So that may have been before this batch. So and shit happens, and It just happened. It just happened to be the batch we drink. So we go back to the drawing board and we try again. Yeah.
So
Excellent.
I want to add also that having poured the more recent Frontera, this is at least tied for my favorite sample of the night. The and I'm not just saying that. I genuinely feel that way. But what I'll say is that this really surprised me. I don't drink a whole lot of American whiskey that isn't American single malt. And this, you don't know which one. Sample number 1.
Yeah.
Really surprised me. I really like that. I would buy a bottle of this for sure.
And that's the old Potrero. So excellent.
Oh, and let's
Guys,
talk about ASM. People
let's
are
not.
asking. Okay, let's not. Let's at least acknowledge ASM
What
is
if-
legal on January 19th.
19th. Yes, the 19th. So 4 days after the next show. 3 days before the following show. And
That's how weeks work, Jerm.
that's how weeks work. It's Adam from Lost Lantern on January 22nd. So that should be fun to talk about that with him.
All right.
But yes, Jack, I hope you do reach out to Lost Lantern. I hope you get them on the
No,
show.
I'm gonna. I have the email here. I'm gonna reply back to Nora.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure that I'll make sure that her and I talk so I can see what the best way for us to have him on the show.
Hey, Jack, I have a
They're
question for you.
absolutely fun.
Yes, sir.
I've seen your interviews on Instagram Live.
Yeah.
I know you also use StreamYard. At least that's what it looked like. Do you
I'm-
publish your interviews anywhere else, or is it just a one and done live show?
No, I'm gonna move to Restream now because prices and number of channel. StreamYard is limiting their thing to you have to have the higher end. The
Yeah.
Restream is actually allowing you to be on TikTok as well. So my shows are all live. So the goal is to have it on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook is where most of them stay on, TikTok, and I used to stream on X as well because I have a few people there that follow me for the community. So
And I know StreamYard's price went up, so I'm also looking for a new
yeah,
platform.
Restream. I'm going to Restream because it's the same price that they're offering for monthly, and they're giving you more outlet to actually go to. Because my thing was number of outlets, and that's the most important to me.
And I'm looking at Riverside FM. is
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
looking at.
Riverside is not bad. Is I liked Riverside a lot for podcast, not
Okay.
necessarily for streaming, but podcast is amazing.
Okay. That's good to know. So
Yeah.
So Restream is what you're looking at. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm gonna test it a couple times to see
Yeah.
how we work, and then I'm probably gonna go full on. So I'm gonna pay for 1 month, see how we work, and then I'm gonna go full on.
And on the Blind Sample Showdown, we have now switched from whiskey to streaming talk.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, we're all streamers, podcasters, blah blah blah, and
Hey, and we people don't
Or
exchange
even
a lot
call
of
it out.
ideas in this business. So when you
Yeah.
find someone that's willing to share, listen, because
Yeah.
the amount of
absolutely.
time I had to beg people just to actually say, hey, what do you use for this? Or what do you do for this? And they look at you like you got 3 horns on your head. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's silly.
yeah,
But
and you know, I decided to use StreamYard because of Embellish Pod, and Jerm decided to use StreamYard because of me, I believe. So at least
I
you
don't
asked me
remember
for a
why I
referral
started
code.
with StreamYard. I think it was I don't know.
We're all pointing each other at the good tools,
Yeah.
you know.
right on.
I
But
will let
everybody
you
in
know,
the chat.
Jerm, I will let you know how Restream works out, and I will definitely let you know because my how many people are on right now, Jerm?
12 at the moment.
Okay, so not 100% official yet, but Monday Sucks is coming back. The show is coming back, so
Nice.
we are gonna have some great things. Speaking of unedited and wild, that's the show you want to be on, to be unedited and wild, because Monday suck. So
Wild, you say, huh?
oh yeah. There is, I think most memories from the pandemic were made on Monday Sucks. If anybody here watched Monday Suck, yeah, you see, that's where I met John. was like every Monday, 9 p.m. Central Time, we literally were going wild. From eating hot chips and trying whiskey after, from 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 from
We hear
literally
it too. We just
we,
don't care.
No, nobody's ever been. No, Spencer. Apparently, you've never watched one of Doug's shows. Killing it. Oh man.
but Monday sucks to be back, and I'm gonna use Restream to be able to do it because now my ultimate goal is to help people in the industry. So I'm going through and looking at people's content because I'm gonna do it more as the daily show style. So I'm gonna bring like people are gonna have their own segment to come talk about something. So I'm paying attention to you know people's content so I can bring you on. One of the people that confirmed for sure is gonna be Coming Whiskey. If you are on Instagram, Coming Whiskey. He'll be coming to tell us what's new, right? What is new? What's coming on the market. So he's gonna have his own segment where he
Okay.
comes and tell us. So that's where I want to do it, to kind of bring more people in the industry, give them a platform for them to have their segment, show off what they can. And for me, it's always about cross learn. Like say, hey, if you're not watching the blend sample from Freedom Malt, you should probably go watch it because that's where I'm gonna be, or that's where this person's gonna be next time to help everybody else in the community. Yeah.
Perfect.
So
All right. We are going to end it here, guys. So everybody in the chat, thank you so much. On your way out, hit that thumb, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. You guys follow Doug Demi Taste or Single Malt Frontier or both on Instagram. Follow the Hood Sommelier on Instagram, YouTube. Same for Doug, YouTube. And until next week, January 15th, we got a girl fight. We got Chelsea Uncharted and Whiskey Care coming in and going to do this blind samples thing. So please hit that notification so you know when it starts. And until next week, guys, cheers.
thank you so
To
much.
Rich American Spirit.